We've got better things to do this summer than deal with old appliances. That's why right now at Lowe's, you can still get in on Memorial Day savings and get up to 45% off select major appliances. Plus, get up to an additional 25% off when you bundle select major appliances. It's time to upgrade what's outdated. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 6/3. While supplies last, selection varies by location. See Lowe's.com for more details.
You may think you know McDonald's drinks, but you don't know them like this. From fruity refreshers like the Strawberry Watermelon Refresher and the Mango Pineapple Refresher with popping boba, to crafted sodas like the Sprite Berry Blast with berry-flavored Sprite topped with cold foam. Who knew ice-cold drinks could be so fire? 6 all-new drinks are here. Try them all, now at McDonald's. Refreshers contain caffeine.
I've just gotten home from seeing the brand new Masters of the Universe movie. Let's review it. This movie tells the hero's tale of a guy called Adam Glenn. He's from the land of Eternia. He's got to find a sword, head back there, kill Skeletor. It's He-Man. This is the second He-Man movie that they have attempted. They did it back in the 80s. That was really bad. Zach and I actually reviewed that film quite a while ago, episode 136. Head back into our archives if you want to listen to that one. All I remember about the 80s Masters of the Universe was that Dolph Lundgren's very good, and that film gave me a headache, and it's bad. This new one also gave me a headache, but for different reasons. The one in the 80s gave me a headache because it was bad, but this one just gave me a headache because I think I was dehydrated or something, so I'm not going to take any points away from the film. I've been cautiously looking forward to this film since the first trailer dropped. I'm a fan of the director, Travis Knight. He made Bumblebee. Out of all of the movies that are based on a cartoon from the 80s that was used to sell kids toys, Bumblebee's one of the better ones. And so I thought, out of anyone in the world, I think he might be able to make a good He-Man film. And, I just saw it. It's not bad. It definitely takes a very James Gunn, if he made Flash Gordon approach to this. It's very similar to that 80s Flash Gordon film in the sense of, it knows what it is. It's not really trying to be like, this is very serious fantasy. It knows that it's based on a show that was just an advertisement. So it knows that it's corny, and it does all those classic, I compare it to James Gunn, because it does all those classic, self-referential jokes. Maybe a little bit too much, to be honest. The movie is very bright and colorful and silly, and it's packed full of references, and they're making fun of everyone's name, and it honestly is pretty much exactly what I expected. And that is definitely the biggest step up from that first movie, is that this looks like Masters of the Universe. It does some really cool effects when certain characters are getting their powers and stuff like that you usually would only see in anime, which I think is really cool. It does some really cool screen flashing and stuff. Just some very cool stuff. Really good attention to detail. And I think that if what the writers and what Travis Knight was going for here was a love letter to 80s Saturday morning cartoons that are very silly and you don't take them seriously, and they're there to sell toys. If he's making a love letter for that, that's very spot on. He did it. If he was a fan of this when he was a kid, it shows, and does lead pretty directly into, I guess, my major criticism with the film. I'll get into some positives in a second, but the plot, it's very thin. I would even say that the characters' journeys are also very thin. But at the end of the day, this is a kid's film, so I'm not going to judge it that harshly, but there were points where I was like, I am a little bored. I'm losing interest. And this was in some of the action scenes, not just in the moments in between the big set pieces. There was some stuff in there that did feel a little bit bloated. It is over 2 hours long. This film is about 2 hours, 20 minutes if you include credits, and you should stay during the credits. So it is a long movie, and it does have a lot of the issues that I think a lot of these longer blockbusters have. It is stuffed full of a bunch of fluff. I'm not saying that this should be 90 minutes, but I think it should be 2 hours, not necessarily 2 hours and 20 minutes. One other criticism I have while I'm going through them is too many needle drops. This film's always dropping a song in the middle of an action scene that doesn't entirely suit what's happening. There's definitely a lot of nods towards He-Man memes and songs from the era of when He-Man was popular, and that's fine. I understand what they're going for. I just think that for me, there were too many songs too often. And final, I guess, negative note for the film, I gotta do it as I get into cast members. I didn't know who was playing Skeletor when I first watched the trailer. I feel like Sony, Amazon have done a really good job at hiding one of the major cast members of this film, because why would you put him in any movies anymore? I thought we all agreed to stop casting him after Suicide Squad, but Jared Leto is in this as Skeletor, and I hate to say it, I genuinely hate to say it, but it worked. It's a good Skeletor. Would anyone else have been better? Absolutely. Is it the writing that makes it good? Absolutely. But this Skeletor is fun. And that is a problem for me because it's Jared Leto. And so I don't want to like it. And I'm sitting there with my arms crossed and I'm like, oh, Jared Leto. But the visuals, the visual effects for Skeletor, they look really good. There's some moments where it's like weirdly stop motion. I think that's on purpose. It could be framey bad CGI, but I think it's on purpose because it was in a couple of small scenes here where I'm like, it looks like they're doing stop motion with the visual effects here to make it look like it's stop motion, but it's not. That was cool. But yeah, it's a good Skeletor. He's very funny, but I think that's the writing. I'm not going to give Jared Leto any props for this performance. Please recast, though, for the next one. Unless you sign a contract, in which case, don't bring him back. Don't bring back Skeletor at all. But if he hasn't signed a contract, recast him, because this is a very funny version of Skeletor, a very entertaining version of Skeletor. It looks really good. Good work, visual effects team. Good work, writers. Bad actor. Go away. Please stop casting him. But that's really the only sour point in terms of the cast of this film. Everyone's really good. Adam Reed, or He-Man, is played by Nicholas Galitzine. He is great. It's his first, big lead blockbuster movie. He's funny in Bottoms, and I think he's a Sheep Detective, which just came out as well. It's his first main character. It's his Chris Evans as Captain America moment. I think he owns it. He's very good in the role. The other big standout performance is the, main supporting character, which is Camila Mendes as Teela. Very good as well. She grounds the movie a lot. I think the character of Teela is definitely there to ground the film. Everyone around her is very, larger than life and silly. And Teela, also is larger than life and silly, but less so than everyone else. She does a great job at making all of the weird shit that's going on seem more grounded. And Camila Mendes puts in a really good performance. I think it's the best I've seen her. But aside from that, everyone else who's in this is as good as you'd expect them to be. Like Christian Wiig does a voice performance. It's very good, very funny. Idris Elba as Man-at-Arms. He's, it's Idris Elba, so he's also very good. And I think the one actor who surprised me as to how much they commit to the role would be Alison Brie as Evil-Lyn, because she does the voice. She does the voice from the cartoon. And I wasn't expecting her to do the voice, but it's Alison Brie, so of course she does the voice. I wouldn't necessarily say she's wasted in the movie. She does get some stuff to do. Evil-Lyn famously is a character, it never really does much, so I guess the movie's true to that. But if they do more of this, I would like to see more of this role a bit more fleshed out, because Alison Brie in this role is great, very funny, and again, she does the voice. I think lastly, the main thing that was going through my head while watching this movie was that I think that, yes, this is definitely aimed at kids. Yes, this is definitely a mindless action movie, but I also think it does have a heart to it, potentially even a lesson to it that is important, particularly, I think, for young boys. You've probably seen all of the angry movie bros if you pay attention to them. I don't. They're annoying. But you've probably seen a couple headlines of them like, woke He-Man, him man? No, it's not my He-Man. I'm wokeness. I'm dumb. I'm a dumb man. There's a bunch of those, and I'm sure, we're gonna hear orchestras of angry 40-year-olds yelling about this movie. That's going to happen when it comes out. That's just going to happen because this movie does have a lesson in it that I think is really important for young boys, and this movie's definitely angled at young boys as well. I think that this is the sort of, brainless action film that kids need because it is a brainless action film that potentially has themes of maybe don't be brainless action man. Maybe that's bad. Maybe being brainless action man going around punching people is a bad thing, actually. And this movie definitely, as you've probably seen in the trailers, it definitely angles itself towards saying something about, kids' entertainment from the era when Masters of the Universe was on. Mindless violence, maybe not necessarily the best thing. I really enjoyed all of that stuff, that element of it. I think that, if I was a kid, I would have loved this. I think that I really would have liked kids' action movies to be like this when I was a kid. I think that would have been really cool to see. Especially seeing as I don't think at any point this movie was heavy-handed or it took away from the plot of the film. It all adds to, the comic styling, the sense of humor, the very James Gunn-ness of the whole overall movie. So Masters of the Universe, is it worth watching? If you're a He-Man fan, absolutely go out and see it. There's so many references in it you'll love. If you don't really care about He-Man, maybe you're familiar with a She-Ra show on Netflix and you're like, that looks interesting, I would still say, it's a fun time. It's not incredible. I think I would give it like a 3-star review. I think it's fun. It definitely has its problems. I think that it is a bit long. The pacing is a bit tedious at times. There is definitely some scenes and some action scenes that drag. The plot is pretty paper thin, and some of the character journeys aren't journeys. And also Jared Leto's in it. That's just a blanket. He's in it. So, think about that before you buy a ticket. But it's a fun time. It definitely feels like a big screen, big budget version of cartoons. And if that's what you want, that's what you're going to get. So a goodie from me. Thank you to Sony for the invitation to see this film early. I like the movies, and I'll see you at the next movies. It's a sad day, listener, but all things must come to an end. My name is Sally McSeller, and this is the last time I'm going to be doing one of these. Now, I don't mean a promo for the Oldie But a Goodie Patreon. If you were hoping I'd stop doing them, I'm not. But it's the last time I'm going to get to do one for their X-Men Mega Series over at patreon.com/Oldie But a Goodie Pod. Sandro and Zach have reviewed The New Mutants, the Last X-Men film. Here's a clip. I think the characters I like the characters. I think it's a nice team.
I will say right now, this is a fantastic group of really interesting mutants put in the most boring location of all time and have the most boring dialogue for a fucking hour. And I'm like, what is going on?
My partner was like, this felt like a TV pilot. This feels like the first episode of a show. This doesn't feel like a movie. It does feel
like a TV show. Okay, I'm glad I'm not the only one who thought that. That would have made more sense.
It's very exciting times because the entire X-Men review series is up now at patreon.com/Oldie But a Goodie Pod. It took them 1.5 years. There were so many films and so many episodes, and they were all very long because it's X-Men and the boys love it. Patreon.com/Oldie But a Goodie Pod. You can also get ad-free episodes there too. Early. Vote on polls. I don't know. My name is Sally McSeller. I'm an American, and I got one question for you. I forgot. Patreon.com/Oldie But a Goodie Pod.